Hey sneaker friends, today we are at Index Portland. Let's talk to Mikey and see what Index is all about.
Hey guys, Mikey. I'm one of the owners here at Index. We're a sneaker consignment store in Portland, Oregon. We first opened in 2013.
Nice. And so you have sneaker consignment. Do you have any new product in here also, or just consignment?
We do, yes. We have, so people bring in all the new shoes that come out. So we buy it from people and then we also consign.
Nice.
Yeah.
And do you have special access because you're in Portland and Nike's close by?
We don't have special access, no. But we do get our hands on pretty rare stuff.
Nice,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool, well thank you so much for letting us shoot this today.
Yeah.
We are gonna talk about the Nike mag that is on auction on eBay right now. And this is Jordy Geller from Shoezeum.
Hi.
You wanna tell us about Shoezeum?
So the Shoezeum was the world's first sneaker museum. I opened it in San Diego in 2010. I had the privilege of entertaining a lot of Nike executives and designers, including Tiffany, back in 2011. In 2012, I moved the collection to Las Vegas, opened it up to the public again. In 2013, the collection was featured in the Book of Guinness World Records as the world's largest sneaker collection, and I've since sold off most of it. I have about 300 pairs of my favorite shoes, and I'm still in the game buying and reselling and still collecting special pieces that come across my desk.
Awesome. Tell me about the auction.
So the auction started last Thursday. It was a 10-day auction with no reserve, started at 99 cents. Almost immediately it was up to $3,000 and then $5,000 when I went to bed that night. And it's been steadily creeping up until yesterday when it just went crazy. It went from 25,000 to about 40,000 to about 60 and then 80, and the last I checked it was $86,200.
That's insane.
Insane.
That's kind of insane, right guys?
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Okay, so, wow, totally blows my mind a little bit. I saw it go up, everyone tagged me in a bunch of posts, and so I thought, okay, well, that'll be curious. So we'll see what it goes for. So this is the actual shoe. Tell us how you got the shoe,
So,
if you can.
very interesting story. About a year or so ago, Dead Stock Coffee was celebrating their 2nd anniversary.
Yeah.
And they had a party, and I went to the party, and it was bring your used shoes and donate them, and then they were giving the shoes away to the community. And there was a gentleman there by the name of Jeff Behrend, who runs a local podcast. And he was kind of part of being in charge of accepting all of these donations. And he had a table of all of these really cool Air Jordan and Michael Jordan collectibles that he was giving away. So people would come, donate shoes, and he would give them a cool item. So we became friends, and he had me as a guest on his podcast.
Nice.
About 6 months later. Now, we did the recording at Dead Stock Studios, right above Dead Stock Coffee, in an office space that's shared by probably 4 or 6 different people.
Pencil's over there, right?
Pencil's
design
right
guy?
nearby,
Okay.
but not in that exact space.
Okay.
So I walk into this shared office space and there's shoes everywhere. I mean like 15 feet high on racks, and a lot of them were my size. So I was like, ooh, what's over
Nice.
here? And then I saw this, and I knew right away what it was. I mean, there was no question at all as to what it was. It was an original Nike mag from the 1980s. And I've never seen an original before. I owned 2 of the 2011 pairs, and I've seen the 2016 pair,
Yeah.
but I've never seen one of these.
Okay.
And just the general state of the shoe made me know right away that it was original.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's definitely an original. So what made you, so you bought it from him?
No. So we start doing this podcast, and I say to Jeff, would it be okay if I take some pictures of this shoe and post it online? I know that people are gonna like go crazy. So
Yeah.
I said, let me reach out to the owner and see what he says. So he reaches out, we do our podcast, and he never gets a response back. So I didn't think anything of it. I didn't force the picture or anything. And I left, and that was that. So I didn't really think about the mag again, which is unlike me. Usually I'd see something like that and then like go right back to it the next day.
Yeah.
But I didn't really think about it much.
Okay.
So fast forward like another 6 months, and I'm on eBay looking for Nike books. I like to collect rare Nike books.
Yeah.
And I stumble upon this listing that's a bunch of books and toys and knickknacks and just like promotional stuff. And it was priced very high and it wasn't selling. And then it got relisted and it wasn't selling, and then it got relisted again and it wasn't selling. And so I reached out to the seller and I introduced myself, and I never do this. Like I never approach people and I'm like, hey, like I see you have this stuff, I'd love to help you sell it. But I saw all this stuff and it seemed so cool, and I didn't think anyone was likely to buy it as a lot. And I thought it would be just a cool opportunity to spread it out and share it with people.
Yeah.
So I reached out to him and said I'd love to do this, and we had coffee. And we're sitting down having coffee, and we're talking about this collection of things, and he mentions to me that he also has a lot of shoes that he collected. I was like, great. And he was like, well, if you're interested in helping me sell those shoes, we could do that too. And I was like, okay, for sure. And then he mentioned I have a single sample prototype Nike mag.
Yeah.
And I go, no way, I saw one of those 6 months ago, and I told him where I saw it. And he was like, that's my shoe. And I was just like blown away that it's such a small world that I happened to stumble upon it doing this podcast, and then randomly 6 months later reaching out to somebody for a collection that had absolutely nothing to do with this shoe.
Yeah.
And that it happened to be the same person.
Nice. So are you selling it for him?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So it's here. How long does the auction go till?
So it's a 10-day auction. It ends on Sunday at 9 p.m.
Okay, so Sunday,
July 1st.
Sunday, July 1st, 2018.
And Tiffany, like, I felt like I needed to bring this shoe out into the community. I have 300 plus other auctions right now, and all those shoes are safe and sound, tucked away, and there's no need to like break them out and share them. But I felt like people needed to see this shoe. It was Index's 5-year anniversary party just last weekend, so it was a perfect opportunity to break it out and share it with locals. I thought it would be awesome if you could come out. I DM'd you almost immediately when I had my hands on the shoe, and I'm so happy that you're here with me doing this. We had a DeLorean show up yesterday.
I heard, that's super cool.
We're doing as much as we can with the shoe to share.
That's awesome. It's such a rare opportunity to see one of these. You know, I've seen a few of these, right? And when I started working on the remake of the Nike mag, the 2011 in 2005, like, one of the jobs was to figure out how many existed in the world. And if I recall, that was a long time ago, there was about 8 pairs that were built for the filming.
Wow.
And of those 8 pairs, some of them had different lights, I learned a couple years later, because we saw one and it had a different light setup. So the lights aren't actually on the shoe, so we can't tell which one it is. But I will note, it is a small size. There were only a few pairs made in Michael J. Fox size 7, 7.5, 8. And so this looks like this was one that was built with his size. Some of the other ones were a little bit bigger.
Wow.
So it's really fascinating.
Can I just interject and say that you are the foremost expert on this shoe, and it's just amazing to hear what you know about it, because really there's nobody else in the world aside from Tinker Hatfield that could talk about this shoe in these details like you can.
Yeah, and I only know what I researched, you know, for remaking it. So
interestingly, about a year ago, since I've been living in Portland, I've been helping people sell their shoes on consignment and also other Nike and sneaker related items. I actually got my hands on the Michael J. Fox last that was used for this shoe. And it said on it that it was a 7D, size 7 and D as in normal width. And also a cast and crew Nike leather jacket for the Back to the Future series.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's like so cool to kind of complete the trifecta and to have this, which many people think are the holy grail.
Yeah. So I just did a video on shoe storage, right? Because from my experience, the Nike mags that we had in Nike archives when I worked there, when we would look at those, you know, you could see them over the years start to deteriorate. This is a great example of a shoe that's falling apart because of the age of the materials. So for the buyer, I mean, you've collected shoes for a long time. For the buyer, what do you think they should do to preserve this? I mean, it is falling apart before our eyes.
Yeah, you really want to not touch it and keep it in a place that's not moist, that's not hot, that's not too cold. I would put the top back on it and put it somewhere safe and sound and just not mess with it. Keep it out of bright light. You can see just how fragile it is.
Yeah, I was thinking it would be cool if like you poured resin around it to preserve it exactly where it is for like the next 100 years.
That's interesting that you say that because I was like trying to figure out how to ship it. And like I wish that I could somehow like inject something all around it that would keep it exactly as it is to be able to ship it to somebody. But you know, as you can see, it's so fragile that there's no way of shipping this thing.
Yeah.
So the buyer's actually going to be coming to Portland
to pick it up. Cool. Cool. So we found out how you got it. Do you know how they stored it? The original owner?
I don't.
Okay. Nice. Cool. Is there any other details you want to talk about the shoe?
So it's really fragile, and if you pick it up, actually, the plastic outsole comes apart from the midsole. We can pick up the case and film underneath it so you can kind of see the details that I know you already know all about, but it'd be cool to share them with your viewers. And
one thing I noticed was that normally these shoes, they have the big inverter that comes out of them that Michael J. Fox put in his back pockets, and the big cable went down and plugged into the shoe. I don't see a hole for that plug, but we're not looking very deep into it because there's foam and stuffing, and I'm just way too afraid it would fall apart. So this is definitely, I mean, from my perspective, this is definitely an early prototype or one of the shoes that was used in filming. It's totally super cool to see it. I'd love to know more history on it.
You know all the history there is, more than anyone. You know what's really awesome about it is the craftsmanship. When you look at the stitching, it screams Nike.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing, you know, the details. Of course, it's deteriorated over the years, but it's like, it's very well made.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. And you can still see the no-sew swoosh and the strap. We'll do some close-up shots for it. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time. This has been super awesome.
Thank you. It's been an honor.
Yeah.
Really.
If you guys have any questions at all, put them down in the comments and we'll try and get them answered. Again, we're at Index in Portland. They just had their 5-year anniversary. The mag is on auction from eBay until Sunday, July 1st. And it's going for big dollars. It's at $86,000 right now, right?
Crazy.
That's insane. So,
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.